If you asked a random stranger on the street if they knew what Power Rangers were, they'd most definitely say yes. And if you asked them which one was their favorite character, you'd probably get a plethora of different answers. The average viewer that watched this series as a kid probably just stuck around for their generation of Power Rangers. Back in the day when Mighty Morphin was around, we followed the same group of people, and though some gradually left and others came in to take their place, it was all one story through line. There was always something tying it back to Season 1. But after the first couple of seasons with the original Mighty Morphin crew back in 1993, what would soon follow would be almost an abrupt transition from what we're used to in seeing recurring familiar faces from past seasons to ultimately brand new faces with new settings that essentially served as their own standalone shows. Minus the obvious, of course, bombastic crossovers, Forever Red will forever be amazing. Lightspeed Rescue is my Power Rangers. From saving Mariner Bay to taking down Queen Banshira, these Rangers were the superheroes of my early years. Lightspeed Rescue was the 8th season of Power Rangers that released in the year 2000. It's a show that follows the recruitment of different civil servants by the US government to fight a plethora of demons in this world. These guys were literally just some guy at their job, and one day they get invited to be something more. Now, if you're familiar with this season of the show, you might have picked up on the fact that these guys deal with some form of the common elements. Carter, the Red Ranger, was a fireman who dealt with fire. Chad the Blue was an aquatic performer who dealt with water. Joel the Green was a stunt pilot who dealt with the sky or air. Kelsey the Yellow was a sports expert and rock climber who got her hands dirty with the earth. And Dana the Pink was a paramedic who deals with, well, the heart. Now, the heart is a bit of a stretch as that's not really considered an element, but unifying it side by side with her teammates' elements reinforced the power empathy and compassion had when those other elements were combined. It serves as a guiding moral compass. Time and time again, we see these Rangers heavily focus on saving and protecting the everyday man. Once they're recruited as Rangers, they're introduced to the Aqua Base, their place of headquarters for meetings and where they'll be living for as long as they're Rangers. It's cool because it's underwater. For a few months, Carter Grayson was my all-time favorite Ranger. He was charismatic, smart, understanding, diligent, everything you'd want to become as a man. But then, that's when he showed up. The Titanium Ranger is one of the most ballsy moves they've done up until this point. Introduced in the 11th episode of the season, Ryan Mitchell was the son of Captain Mitchell and long-lost brother of Pink Ranger Dana. He was presumed to be lost for a long time by his dad, but by his sister, he was thought to be dead. His story begins the night his family was going home on a dark, rainy day. Captain Mitchell was driving down a highway when he dangerously looked at the backseat to adore his children enjoying playing with their toys. When he returns to look at the road ahead, a collision almost occurs with an oncoming tractor truck nearly hitting them. Captain Mitchell goes off the rails, quite literally, and somehow manages to hang onto his kids while dangling from a branch. Screaming for help, the only one who comes in to save him is Diabolico, one of this season's primary bad guys. In exchanging for saving Ryan's life, Diabolico says Ryan will be of his own, and that Mitchell wouldn't see him until his 20th birthday. Such a specific number. We aren't told why specifically 20. It's a cool number, I guess. But he kidnaps him and holds true to his word. It's really cute how they end up on the exact same branch 2 decades later. All reliable, still there, and super strong. Oh. Never mind. I gotcha! Someone's gotta power scale the Power Rangers at some point. That fall looks pretty nasty. When this episode rolls by, everyone is hit by shock with the revelation that he even exists in the first place, and that he also now possesses the most powerful morpher from their lab. Ryan is our Black Air Force energy of the Lightspeed Rescue show. He's even wearing all black in his everyday fits. It's always made me kinda curious to know if his costume was originally supposed to be a darker color closer to black. Everyone else seems to be wearing their matching Ranger color. The way they build up this morpher's power and energy is actually kinda horrifying. The Red Ranger of every season is usually seen as the leader and the strongest of the bunch. Having him reaching and grabbing for the air while his friends just watch in horror is terrifying. Look how scared they are. This was an excellent way to build Ryan's aura without him even having to step foot in front of the camera yet. It sends this message that, damn, whoever's able to use this morpher must be really strong. What did Odin say? Whosoever holds this morpher shall possess the power of Thor. Naturally, being the 6th Ranger of the group, he easily washes everyone on the team when they try to take him down. He'd do breakdancing moves and make people do front flips from how powerful his kicks are. They got him doing landing spinning kicks. I don't even know what move you'd call this. He is the smoothest fighter on the team. Even his weakness is grossly cool. Dude has a moving snake tattoo that moves up his body. He is so damn sick. Now, I've searched the web and dark corners of the earth to find out what the V means on his visor. If you notice the shape of the visors of the Lightspeed Rescue helmets, all of them give off a sense of protection and security. They're shaped almost like shields with rounded curves and sharp edges, showing off that they're dedicated to saving people's lives, but also being empathetic and being there for others. This helps complement the natural heroic presence they carry with them. They were firefighters, paramedics, and athletes before all this. The Titanium Ranger's visor, however, doesn't really align with this theme. In the same sense, he doesn't share the same background as the other characters either. He was quite literally raised and brainwashed by demons. So after trying to find my answer on what the V on his visor really meant, I can safely say that while there's never been a concrete confirmation as to what it means, it most likely is just a reference to the Roman numeral 5. The original Super Sentai show Lightspeed Rescue is based on is called Go-Go 5, and iconography of the Roman numeral 5 is ever present throughout the show, as shown through their V-Lancers as well. It's ironic because he's Ranger number 6 though. Side note, I think it's actually really funny how we are supposed to just believe that he swam with just his flippers into the aqua base undetected. Not a camera in sight monitoring the only way in is crazy. Unfortunately, he fell under the 6th Ranger curse where he got noticeably less stronger when he switches to the light side. The Curse of the Cobra arc added a really compelling twist to the character. After his turn to the good side from darkness, Ryan is confronted by Diabolico in a nightmare for betraying him and is given a cobra tattoo, which moves up his back every time he morphs, and we are told that once it reaches his neck, he will die. Oh, I'm sorry, destroyed.
Till it reaches my neck and destroys me.
The show, being Power Rangers, obviously wanted to not get too dark for its main demographic, so they would often say destroyed instead of killed.
You want to destroy me? I thought you was destroyed.
I couldn't let you destroy my son.
It won't be over until you're all destroyed.
They let it fly once during Ryan's debut episode.
Ryan was killed in that car crash.
It perfectly sets the mood for Ryan's episodes to come, as they're more edgier than the earlier episodes. When he wakes up from the bad dream, we come to find out that it was real. This element adds an authentic consequence for Ryan morphing, as it would truly have to be justified for him to morph. It costs him time off of his life. This sort of ticking time bomb aspect tattooed onto him naturally builds the hype up every time he morphs, because the urgency was very apparent. But not only this, if you watched the show, you may have noticed after the first few episodes following his appearance, he just kinda goes off and has the luxury to find the meaning of life, and he just comes back every now and then. Little 5-year-old me always wondered, why? Why must you do this to me, show? My favorite character. Well, as mentioned earlier, Lightspeed Rescue is based on the show Go-Go 5. Similar to the other Power Ranger seasons, Power Rangers is simply an adaptation of the Japanese show titled Super Sentai. Go-Go 5 was just a specific season of Super Sentai. Simply put, Super Sentai action scenes are straight up used for the American Power Rangers show. And in Power Rangers, they just add their own storyline and cast members to make their own story around the setting. Sometimes they even use storylines from Super Sentai because it was just that good. You'll see most of the fight scenes found in Lightspeed in the Go-Go 5 show. It has footage of all of the Rangers and their fight scenes, except for the Titanium Ranger. The Titanium Ranger footage doesn't exist in Go-Go 5 because he's completely original to Lightspeed Rescue, meaning all of his scenes were made just for Power Rangers. This proved to be tricky as the cast and crew had to be sure to shoot entirely original fight scenes to have Ryan in them, or simply just not have him show up, which they eventually did.
Bruh.
Which made it all the more funnier when he just went off to do his own thing because the writers didn't know what else to do with him without extra Super Sentai footage. He just shows up whenever. Dude said this Power Ranger stuff is on my schedule. This is especially noticeable when they have to carefully separate him from the rest of the group during fight scenes so that they can mix back in existing Go-Go 5 Super Sentai footage. It saves them on their budget as they originally intended with Power Rangers. Fun fact, Ryan leaves his morpher behind here, but then in the next scene, it reappears on his wrist. Thought that we wouldn't notice, but we did. In the end though, I think it's really admirable how ambitious the people behind this show were. They knew the risk and limitations that came with including an original made Ranger, and trying to mix them into a show that was planned to use the typical Super Sentai archived footage template Power Rangers has been using for years. The Titanium Ranger is still my absolute favorite Power Ranger. He's probably to me what the original Green Ranger was to a lot of the Mighty Morphin fans. I still remember playing the PS1 video game with my brother and relentlessly trying to unlock the Titanium Ranger through numerous attempts. I remember getting on top of a chair and trying to morph along with Ryan. I remember hunting down his vintage action figure with his cool little motorbike. He was the first Power Ranger to not have a Super Sentai counterpart incorporated into an already existing series. An entirely new creation intended to be blended into the original show as if he were always there. I think having his visor match the V-Lancers helped sell that he fit right into this world they were building. I was born in 1999, and from what I've heard from my friends and family, my generation actually grew up with Power Rangers Dino Thunder. And while I've only seen a few episodes of that one, I'm really glad I got to grow up with Lightspeed Rescue. It was the Power Rangers my older brother grew up on, and it just naturally became something I myself rewatched all the time on VHS. Anyways guys, it was something a little different for today. Did you watch Power Rangers when you were younger? What series did you watch? Let me know down in the comments section below. And for more of my videos, just click right here.